For decades now, China has startled the global automotive scene with a simple yet powerful tactic: introducing electric cars at jaw-dropping price points. Again and again, they've managed to combine low costs and decent performance in ways that make established automakers uneasy. Now, China has unveiled what might be its most alarming creation yet: a little electric car with a range many thought impossible at its price tag, inspiring both awe and fear in boardrooms worldwide. Meet the BYD Seagull. It's small, unassuming, and doesn't flaunt futuristic spaceship-like styling. No, it's quiet, almost too quiet. But that hush is precisely the point. In a world bursting with flashy EV prototypes and exorbitant sticker prices, the Seagull glides in gently with a price of around $10,000. And here's the kicker: it still manages a respectable 200-mile range on paper. That combination sounds almost mythical, like a rumor you'd swap among car enthusiasts. Yet it's real, and it's already rolling off the production line onto bustling Chinese streets. If you're a major automaker, this is your worst nightmare. A product that undercuts your offerings so drastically that the only defense is to fight back or risk falling behind. But how did we get here? How did one of the world's biggest EV manufacturers manage to pull off something the rest of the industry has only fantasized about? Stick around, and by the end you'll see why the BYD Seagull might just be the scariest low-price EV to emerge from China yet, and what it might mean for the future of driving. The BYD Seagull is no large SUV, no family minivan. It's petite, a four-door hatchback that's agile enough to weave through jam-packed city traffic and small enough to fit snugly into any cramped parking space. Its design isn't about eye-catching lines or show-off angles. Instead, it's refreshingly understated. Think smooth curves, wide windows for visibility, and a simple interior that forgoes flashy gadgets. But don't let that modest exterior fool you. BYD is targeting a massive global audience of buyers who want a practical city car that doesn't break the bank, especially in places where daily driving errands don't demand the range of a high-end luxury EV. And in that niche, the Seagull fits perfectly. No fancy autopilot, number 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Just your everyday errands quietly zoomed through on an electric motor. The real bombshell is that price tag of around $10,000. That's the part making automakers around the world double-check their spreadsheets, because if a fully electric four-door hatchback can be sold for that little, who's going to spend $30,000, $40,000, or even $50,000 when they could get something that simply works? Sure, the Seagull won't be everyone's dream car. It might feel tight on a long road trip, and you won't see TikTokers racing supercars in it. But for a massive chunk of the population that just needs a reliable daily driver, BYD has brought the mountain to Muhammad. Alright, so how exactly do you build an electric car with a decent range and sell it for a sum that seems closer to a budget phone plan than a brand new automobile? BYD's answers can be found in a few key areas: the production line, the materials, the batteries, and the manufacturing techniques that slice costs to the bone without sacrificing total reliability. When you step onto a typical car factory floor, you'll see hundreds of parts streaming in from dozens of suppliers, each one adding its markup. The final vehicle is a patchwork of different companies' components. However, BYD has long embraced a different philosophy: vertical integration. Rather than buying batteries from one giant, motors from another, and electronics from a third, BYD makes them in-house. That alone slashes costs and gives them control over every dimension: engineering, quality checks, and assembly speed. They've also optimized their factories to churn out vehicles faster with fewer bottlenecks and seamless lines that minimize manual touches. In other words, they're not paying outside suppliers to handle these tasks, they handle them themselves. Let's face it, some EVs boast aluminum frames, carbon fiber panels, or cutting-edge composites that look and feel incredible, but they also spike the cost through the roof. The Seagull's body uses tried and tested affordable materials that keep the vehicle light but sturdy. You might notice a more plastic-heavy interior and a simpler dashboard layout than some ultra-modern EVs, yet these materials do the job. They're durable, they're inexpensive, and they keep weight low, which boosts efficiency. BYD even saves pennies in places most folks wouldn't think twice about, like a single wiper blade instead of 2 or standard side mirrors that can be produced in mass in large volumes. When you multiply these cost savers over thousands of cars, you start talking serious money. Perhaps BYD's crowning achievement is their Blade battery, a lithium iron phosphate (LFP) design that's rewriting the rules of EV battery tech. Traditional lithium-ion packs can guzzle up a huge chunk of the overall cost, not to mention come with safety concerns like thermal runaway. The Blade battery, however, is intentionally built to be safer and more affordable. Stab it with a nail, crush it, and it's still much less likely to explode or catch fire than older battery types. Moreover, it's arranged in a way that keeps packaging minimal. That means no large separate modules or complicated caging systems that add weight and cost. By placing battery cells tightly together in a blade formation, BYD cuts out extraneous components. Put plainly, the Blade battery delivers both reliability and affordability, two must-haves for a budget EV like the Seagull. Beyond the big breakthroughs, BYD also employs quiet, behind-the-scenes optimizations. Automation helps keep labor costs down, in-house software development avoids exorbitant licensing fees, and everything is tested rigorously to ensure that an unfortunate recall won't wipe out profits. The result? They can confidently sell the Seagull at a price that seems more fit for a motorbike, not a fully electric automobile. So, the price is mind-blowing and the range is surprisingly adequate, but can you trust something this cheap and this new? BYD isn't new to the world of EVs. They've been manufacturing electric buses, trucks, and cars for years in China, often operating out of sight of the Western mainstream. That extensive experience paid dividends here. The electric motors, batteries, and control systems in the Seagull draw from proven engineering. Think of it like trickle-down reliability. The knowledge gleaned from higher-end models and commercial vehicles filters into more modest projects. Early Chinese owners of the Seagull have reported minimal issues, praising how it handles daily commutes, grocery runs, and short weekend trips. Of course, time will tell if it can maintain that reliability 5 or 10 years down the line, but early signals look promising. For a budget EV, you might brace yourself for a stripped-down safety package, but the Blade battery alone goes a long way toward dispelling fire hazards, a consistent worry among EV skeptics. Standard safety features like airbags, anti-lock brakes, and stability control systems add another layer of reassurance. The Seagull's strongest appeal is how it completely redefines the notion that electric vehicles must be priced like luxury items. By offering an EV at around $10,000, despite that remarkably low sticker cost, it still manages to deliver an estimated 200-mile range. The Seagull has already hit Chinese dealerships with success, catching international media attention. Next comes the question, will it make waves beyond China's borders? For veteran automakers, it's a wake-up call. No longer can they bank on brand loyalty or rely on the assumption that EV adoption is slow due to high costs and limited range. The Seagull checks both boxes admirably. The cost is low and the range is halfway decent for regular drivers. For them, this is nothing short of thrilling. A future where electric cars are as ubiquitous and financially accessible as a typical small sedan is suddenly visible on the horizon, and it's coming from a brand that's been quietly perfecting its craft for years. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon.